Hey there YouTube, welcome back to another Black Powder video. This intro, for some bizarre reason I filmed this morning when I did my original video, and for some odd reason it didn't record, or I accidentally deleted it. I probably had loads of information that I was blurbing off, which I can't remember for anything, so this will just be a quick haphazard intro to my next unit, which I actually filmed this morning, so I'll be going back in time. And I just popped into, I basically uploaded it to my computer and noticed that there was no intro, so I quickly popped into my Blu-ray room, where it's probably got the best light around up here, and just say, hope you enjoy the video. These guys took me a fair amount of time, and my GMB flag came this morning in record time. I think it's the quickest time I've ever had a GMB flag come. It's literally, I ordered it on Wednesday, today is Saturday, so I immediately completed my unit, which I more or less was all ready. I basically based them and stuck all the tufts on and everything before today, and now we will go back in time and down to the workbench to continue giving you a look at the unit, of course, which I finished this morning. So, join you down there. Bye. Hey there YouTube, welcome down to the workbench, and before you can see, at last, after 3 or 4 days delay, which is a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be actually, my finished unit. These guys are the 2nd Battalion 3rd Guards, and they are front rank battalion pack, i.e. 36 man, but I have done a few swap outs. I've basically put an officer into each of the wing companies just to make a little bit of difference. One's front rank and the other is my spare elite officer, which I managed to utilise, so I'm pretty chuffed about using up another leftover from my elites. So let's get into it and show you in a little bit closer detail. Now, like I say, these guys are part of the 2nd Brigade, 1st Infantry Division, and they're led by a Major F. Hepburn. And let's start with the Grenadier company. Let's move the camera a little bit closer. Let's get these guys up. So this is the last 36 man battalion that I need to do for this particular division. The other two divisions that are left are 24 manners. I tend to, if they're over 1,000 man, make them into a large unit, and the other two I believe are around about 700 or 800 each, so getting close to but not quite up to full strength, because I think the guards units were all deployed at full strength, so they're all initially 1,000 man units, or 1,000 man plus. So yeah, so here's the Grenadiers, and you can see that they have the elite officer, the elite miniatures officer there, and I've actually put a sword into his hand. And I actually did this slightly different to how I would normally do it. Normally I would just lop his hand off and put a sword hand on, i.e. a hand already holding a sword. But in this case, I've actually just put the sword into his hand. I managed to be able to cut the handle away from the sword. Now I can't remember if it was just a sword on its own. It could possibly have been, but I'm sure it had a hand on it. But the hand was, I was able to basically cut the hand out along with the handle of the sword, and it happened to actually fit absolutely perfectly over this chap's hand. So well, in fact, that sometimes I get tricked into thinking that it's actually part of his sculpt, and I go to pick up the figure by its sword, and it's really quite flimsy. Like I say, it's a Victrix, so it's quite a flimsy little plastic there. So I have to keep telling myself it's not metal, and pick the guys up via another method. But yeah, you can see that I put a lot of work into these guys. Every man had exactly the same amount of work put into him. I didn't cut corners on anyone. I've revised the way that I do redcoats again, and it's certainly not slow, but I think you get a good outcome at the end. And these front rank marching sculpts I do really like. I think that's part of the reason why I think this 36 manner flowed a lot better than my first 36 battalion, which was made out of elite. I think it's definitely the position. I think the elite ones are charging, and these guys are marching. I really like the officer. I think he fits in with the unit really well. You can see that I've given them the guards units at Waterloo are supposedly wearing white trousers. So I kind of I sort of worked my way down from sort of a medium sea grey down to dark sea grey to light sea grey to Starship exterior. So they're kind of like, they look white, but they're actually more of a sort of very light grey. Although this particular officer has actually got pure white trousers on, because I thought, well, because most of the officers were wearing their normal grey trousers, although maybe a shade lighter than a normal unit. So I did give one officer a pair of white breeches because he thought, well, the pom-pom of the Grenadiers is white, so I'll wear white trousers to go in with the unit. So that is the Grenadiers company. I think it turned out really cool. Next up, the rear centre. Again, just 6 regular guys. You can see there's a lot of detail on these guys. The faces are perfect. All the details there. That's the rear centre. Then we have the light company. Again with another officer. This guy actually being a spare front rank officer from my my last unit when I brought a command pack on its own. Fits in again perfectly, I think. Obviously he's also got a covered shako, so he kind of fits in quite well with the rest of the guys. So that is the light company. Next up, the drummers stand. So the drummer, I did in my usual style of painting him up with the white facings and then putting little blue dots to stand in for the little motifs. I think it works quite well. It helps break up the white, and you can see it as like a pattern there. I think it works quite well. And of course, 5 regular troopers. And you can definitely tell that every man's had the same amount of work done on them, because they all look carbon copies paint wise. I know sometimes you kind of, you try especially when you're like trying your hardest on things, when you start getting towards the end, you start getting excited and you might cut a few corners. But this time round I didn't, and I was still maintaining a good pace of around about 6 guys a day. Sometimes just spilling over a little bit into the next day, but generally 6 a day. So next up we have the sergeant's stand, or I deem the sergeant's stand, because I always have the sergeant in the stand next to the command group. 5 regular troops again, and the NCO, and again a nice figure. Got sergeant stripes there embossed, so you could paint them on. And just 5 regular troopers again. And finally, the piece de resistance that I always enjoy doing the best, the command stand. So here we have the colours. So we have the regimental colour there. You can see it's got the Scottish cross, and the main colour. I believe this is actually the Lieutenant Colonel's colours. I picked up a book on the Guards. I was actually having trouble trying to find a sort of a reference book on the Guards, especially at Waterloo. And I tried searching, for Osprey books and all that sort of stuff, and in the end I come up with this book here, which I'm not 100% sure if this is actually just a straight up copy of, I think it's the Conflict series from Osprey initially, and Clash of Arms, there we go. But this is actually the Del Prado edition, which I think they released with metal figurines at one point. But this was like the only book that I could find, and I was kind of a little bit dubious, because sometimes these sorts of books don't actually have that much reference material and are generally more sort of history. But luckily there was, although I've got to admit there's not a massive amount of reference material in here that's relevant to me, but something that I did find really useful was that they've actually got a section on the colours. And it seems that every regiment had 3 colours, a colonel's, a lieutenant colonel's and a major's. And I think this particular flag, I think it's the lieutenant colonel's colours, which I'm not sure if that's actually correct or not, but it's what GMB supplies, so I'm going to trust them. But yeah, I was very happy to finally finish these guys off with putting the flag on this morning. This was the flag that tore. I had the King's colour already put on. I did, within the few days it took for the flag to arrive, actually base them and finish off putting the tufts and stuff on. So basically all I had to do was literally just stick the flag on and then bend the little tassels to go with the wind, which I think really adds flavour to them, actually. So yeah, there you go. That is the 2nd Battalion 3rd Guards, and that actually, apart from the brigade commander, completes the 2nd Brigade, which are made up of the 2 36-man units, the Coldstream Guards and the Scots Guards. So that is the end of showing you the figures. I'm actually working on the brigade commanders at the moment. I've only had, I think I've spent maybe 30 minutes on them so far, and it took me quite a long time to decide which figures I was going to use. I ended up using these 2 figures from the British Major General's pack. Now obviously these guys aren't supposed to be the guys that they're actually representing. I mean, this guy's Halkett, for instance, and he's actually, I could theoretically use him because I have actually got Halkett's brigade in my 3rd British Infantry Division. But I was looking at him, and I was looking at the guy that I used to represent him in game. That's already done. And I decided that this guy looks a little bit more guardy than the other guy. So I decided to go with this figure. And the other guy, this guy here, I picked him, and as I was sort of painting him up, I was kind of thinking, well, actually this guy looks as if he could be more suitable for being the brigade commander or the divisional commander of my 4th Cavalry Division, the Light Dragoons, because he's got this blue overcoat on. and I think the figure that I originally chose that I was going to use is in like a red coat, so I might well swap them over. But I'll probably just do these two guys together because I've already started them, and I'll decide at the end whether to actually swap them across. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm working on at the moment. Like I say, it shouldn't take too long to do those guys, which is why I think that I'm not 100% sure if I'll get another video out before Christmas. I may or may not do. But if I don't, I'd just like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and I'll probably catch you maybe around Christmas with my next video. We'll see how it goes. But yes, I guess that's it. Thanks to all my subscribers who keep with me, and I hope I've been producing content that you're enjoying, and there's plenty of more to come. That's for sure. So until next time, catch you all later. And a quick cat update. If I just take the camera off. She's asleep in her little box, her new little box over here. And she's asleep. So, until next time guys, bye bye.